everyone, it's Jonathan and welcome to Season 5 of the Disney Movie Marathon. And we're kicking off the year with the Disney TV Marathon. We're talking about the brand new TV special and hopefully revival of The Muppet Show. Today's episode is a combined two-part podcast for YouTube. Both halves of the show were already released on the Disney Movie Marathon podcast feed, the first half almost a month ago when I finished it. And that will likely continue to be the case for new Disney episodes. So if you want to listen to some of these early, make sure to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. Originally, the first half of this episode was going to be it, but I ended up changing my idea for how I wanted to approach it, and then I added a few guests. But in doing so, I knew I wouldn't get it finished before the end of February, so I decided to make it two parts. One with the guests I'd recorded with not long after the special aired, and the second half after I was able to schedule with the others. I hadn't even originally thought of doing an episode of The Muppet Show, but on February 4th, the day the special aired, I was recording a future episode with Stanford, Clark, and Mark Brown, and before we started, Mark and I were talking about how much we had loved the new Muppet Show special. We told Stanford he needed to watch it ASAP, and somewhere in there we decided that doing a podcast on it would be a great idea. Obviously, since Stanford hadn't seen it yet, we couldn't record immediately, so we scheduled it for the next week, but then it turned out the next week was busier than we thought. Stanford ended up not being available after all, and finding a replacement that worked with Mark's schedule wasn't working, so I switched my strategy. Instead of recording one episode with Stanford and Mark, I first decided to do two segments, one with Mark and one with Jenna and Nicki, since they did want to join us, but their schedules didn't quite match with Mark's. And then at some point I decided, since I'm already changing the scope of the episode, why not do some more segments, talk to a few more Muppet fans, and make one mega episode talking about the special and what we'd like to see in the future if the Muppets are given a full season order. So, like I said, that week Mark and I ended up recording on our own, and Jenna and Nicki joined me the next day. Then later in the month I was joined by Callum from the podcast Once Upon a VHS, and then finally at the beginning of March, Stanford and I had another episode scheduled to record with Sarah, so the three of us decided to record a segment for this podcast at the same time. So that's the backstory of how this episode came to be. Let's kick off this 4-part Muppet Show mega podcast talking to Mark Brown. So, what was your immediate reaction to watching this special?
I loved it.
Me too.
This was everything I ever wanted from the Muppets ever since whoever it was, didn't know what they wanted to do with the Muppets. Like, okay, the Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted. I'm not super fans of them like some people, but okay, they were fine. I didn't care to watch a Muppets sitcom. I didn't care to watch a Muppets Now web series thingy. I don't care to watch the Muppets TV spinoff with Dr. Teeth and the gang and Little Lily sing. Like, it just felt like everything I loved about the Muppets was encapsulated in the Muppet Show. So it only made sense that what I would want to see is the Muppet Show come back. And if this is as successful as I'm hoping it would be, I enjoyed what I got.
Yeah, me too. For me, Muppets have been hit or miss since the 2011 reboot, I guess you could say. Like, I liked that movie, but I didn't love it like everyone else did. I actually really liked Muppets Most Wanted. I thought that was way better, and everyone hated that movie for some reason. At least that's what it seemed like online. The 2015 sitcom, I thought it was a really dumb idea to give it the same name as the movie. And when it first started, again, it was just like, this is fine, but this is not what I want. I did think that it improved massively by the end. By the end of the season, I really liked it, and I wish they had not canceled it. Because I think it's one of those shows that, like a lot of sitcoms, the first season is never that great, but they need to find their footing. And it felt like it was just starting to find its footing, and then they canceled it, which seems to happen with a lot of stuff in the streaming era. I don't think that was streaming, but ever since streaming became a thing, it's like nobody gives anything a chance. Like, if it's not a massive hit in season 1, cancel it, no matter what.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. So it feels like the Muppets was folded into that category of things.
I never watched it, but I'm just a little hesitant about if I like it or not. But if you say it gets better at the end, maybe I'll give it a shot.
I think it's worth it. I did really like it. I would like to rewatch it because I have not watched it since it first aired. And now I'm kind of like feeling like I need more Muppet stuff after this because I don't know if we're getting more, but I hope we are. But then, Muppets Now was hit and miss. Like some things were very funny and some things were painfully cringy, like leaning way too much into the social media stuff.
Yeah.
It was just, it didn't need to exist.
Yeah.
Even though there were some things in that series that I did like I think that is the series, it was like a cooking show with Danny Trejo and a turkey, if I'm remembering correctly, and that was very funny. But
that's probably with the Swedish chef or something.
I think he was there too, but there was a turkey who was, I think she's a parody of some TV cook that I'm not 100% sure who she is. Even if she's not, she's a turkey that speaks English, and she and Danny Trejo and probably a Swedish chef, it's been... So I've watched it once, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
Like, most of that show was just completely forgettable. I did not love it. And then Muppets Haunted Mansion, I remember thinking it was fine, but I could not tell you the plot right now if you asked me. So that tells you how much staying power it had in my mind.
Yeah, I think that was probably my favorite of the Muppet stuff. But I also didn't love it, so that already tells you the level that we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are some people who loved it a lot. I didn't. Like, I was like you. I thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just felt like the whole entire Muppets since Disney bought them has just been hit or miss. Like with a lot of things that Disney buys. It's not just the Muppets, but Muppets has felt particularly egregious because they put out so little content. Like with Marvel, it can be hit or miss, but they put out so much that if you don't like one thing, just wait till the next one. You could like that one a lot better. But with Muppets, it's like if you don't like one thing, you have to wait like 5 years before you get another thing.
And you still might not like that?
Yeah. So it's felt worse with the Muppets more than any other thing that Disney has bought that hasn't been perfect. But this has been the first thing that I've watched where it was like immediately, yes, I love this. Yeah. I've watched this 5 times in the last week.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I'll probably watch it again before I record my next segment. So, yeah, I really liked it.
No, it really exceeded my expectations. Like when I heard Sabrina Carpenter, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this will probably be another what I've expected to see from the Muppets. But no, I was blown away. I don't really know Sabrina Carpenter. I don't really follow a lot of modern music, so I don't really know like her or her songs or anything. But like you could tell that she was happy to be like a guest show with the Muppets. You could tell she had love for the Muppets.
Yes.
And I think she did perform at least one of her songs. But like one thing I was also scared of is, will they get rid of the variety show aspect and just make her be singing all of her songs only? But no, I was happy. No, they kept the variety aspect where they're actually singing like covers of other songs or older songs and stuff like that. So I was really happy with that. No, I can't tell you how pleased I was with that.
Yeah, me too. I'm not too familiar with her music. Yeah. The main thing I knew her from was she was on Girl Meets World back in the day. And I don't think I ever finished Girl Meets World because that came out around the time where I was going back to college, and I just kind of fell out of trying to keep up with Disney Channel because there was a period of time, like around the time when I first went to college, or second, I've gone to college. I have 3 degrees, so the second time I went back to college, my cousin and I got on a kick where we were just watching a lot of Disney Channel stuff. So we were like catching up on all the stuff from when we were kids, and then we kept going with what was playing today. And then around the time when I moved, because when I was going to college at that point, it was just in Council Bluffs, which is less than an hour away, so I was just driving back and forth. But then when I went to Iowa State to get my bachelor's, then I had to move because that's over 2 hours away. So at that time, we just kind of fell off of Disney Channel stuff, and that's around the time when Girl Meets World was happening. Okay. So I think I watched maybe the first season, but then I never continued with it, and I didn't think it was as good as some of the stuff that had been in the past few years. I liked the kids, it was a decent show, but it wasn't hilarious. Like I loved That's So Raven. That was one of my favorite shows. I would still, even today, I could watch an episode of that and it's hilarious. But it wasn't as good as that. So that's how I knew her. And I know that she's gone on to become a major superstar, huge sellout concerts. And I've never really looked into her.
She's probably below Taylor Swift level.
Probably.
Fame, I would say, yeah.
and I don't think I'd ever really looked into her music.
Yeah.
So I was not too aware of like what a Sabrina Carpenter as a guest on the Muppet Show episode could look like. I remember, I'll have to talk to Jenna when I record with her about this. I remember her being excited for Sabrina Carpenter because she is a Sabrina Carpenter fan.
I think you told me that, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how she felt about it. But me, knowing nothing about Sabrina Carpenter, I loved it. Like the song that she did in the bar, it felt like something out of season one of the Muppets. I feel like there was something similar with some sort of a bar brawl in the early Muppet Show.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gone back to rewatch the Muppet Show in ages, but I feel like it was reminiscent of something that had happened. It just like a crazy bar scene with crazy monster Muppets and the female singer having a brawl. I don't know. I could be making this up, but I'm pretty sure I remember something similar in the old Muppet Show.
Sorry, and that's another thing I liked was like when she sang her song, I was scared, oh, they'll make her like sing it like a concert song or something instead of putting it like within a sketch. But no, they did it like a variety show. They had a backdrop, they had a sketch, they had a story with a bar brawl, and it fit.
Yeah, it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And like there have been other times where the Muppets have done stuff with Disney Channel stars, and it's just kind of forgettable.
Or cringy at best.
Yeah, that too. And like knowing that this had a chance to become an actual show, because like before this even came out, they were talking like if this does well, there is a good chance that Disney will greenlight it as a full series. So knowing that going in, I didn't think that that was what this was going to be, even though I knew her as a Disney Channel star. But like in the very back of my mind, I was like, but what if it is? Yeah. Even though I didn't think it was just like, there is a chance this could be cringe.
Yeah, that was my worries before I saw it as well.
But knowing that they had a chance to potentially bring back the Muppet Show, I figured they are going to do everything in their power to make it as good as they can be. And thankfully they did.
No, they did. And I think another thing they did, just, like I said, just keeping everything how it was, not just the variety show format, but even the theater is the same. And also having like a story about the Muppets characters within the show. So like, it's about Kermit trying to deal with booking all these guests at the same time, or which ones he has to cut out. Like there's still that like minor plot that's taking place at the same time, which, I'm glad they had that. And I think it's not a nitpick. I mean, it's just a minor nitpick. My only thing is like, this was also one of my complaints with Muppets Now. They had multiple guest stars in one episode, and each episode was like, 10 minutes for that. But I love how what the Muppet Show did. Like they only had, for most of the time, they only had one guest star who would like hold the whole show together. And I think that works a lot when you have one person to be the focus and they're the one holding the show. When you throw like a bunch of people together, I feel it kind of breaks up the focus and you don't get as much quality. So my only slight complaint was I don't think Seth Rogen and Maya Rudolph needed to be in it. But again, I get it because Seth Rogen, I mean, he's the guy producing this. So like, no, I mean, like, thank you, sir, for doing that. Yeah. And Maya Rudolph, I mean, it was, I don't really get why she was in it, but I mean.
I will say right now, I absolutely loved Maya Rudolph. I already like her, but her, when she died, I about died laughing. Yeah. That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
I would have loved if she was like her own, like she was the star of one of the episodes. That'd be cool.
Me too. Yeah. And maybe that could still happen. But the way, when they first announced, because like all along we knew Sabrina Carpenter was going to be the guest.
Yeah.
So when they first announced that, Seth Rogen's going to be there. Maya Rudolph's going to be there. I was like, okay, well, how's that going to work? Yeah. Because like there's almost always only one guest.
Yeah.
But I think the way they did it was perfect because neither one of them had a huge role. They were basically a glorified cameo for publicity.
Yeah.
And also because Seth Rogen is in.
Seth Rogen was barely in it, yeah.
He's producing, so that's fine. Yeah. But I think the way they did it with having him going to be a guest, but then cutting his bit and then having him kind of sulking at the end, that was the perfect use. And then just having Maya Rudolph be in the audience, like
Yeah,
that makes
that worked
total
out.
sense. Like if this was a real show, there would probably be actual celebrities going to see this thing.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know Maya Rudolph was going to be in it. Like, I had heard Seth Rogen was, but I didn't know about Maya Rudolph, so she was like a surprise when I saw her.
Okay. I knew she was going to be in it, and I just
Mhm.
had no idea how that was going to work. But the way they did it, I think, is perfect. And if they want to keep doing that, I think they could, just having a celebrity in the audience as a
Like a
random cameo
like
to
a
do
cameo. Yeah.
a one-shot gag with a different Muppet. I think that's perfect.
Honestly, now that you say that, yeah, I could get along with it. Like I said, it was only like a slight nitpick of mine, but like if it's like if that's like becomes a recurring thing and like a special signature of this new show, if it becomes a
Hmm.
show, yeah, I can be on board with it.
Yeah, I was listening to somebody reviewing it the other day, and they were talking about, I can't remember what the name of the show is, but it's something that Nicki has told me I need to watch. It's the precursor show to The Naked Gun, where it was like a
Oh
police
yeah, police
spoof.
squad, police. I know what you're talking about. I watched most of it. Police squad, not police squad. Police. It's the police squad. I know what you're talking about.
They were likening Maya Rudolph's cameo to, apparently in that show they would always say, and special guest star so and so, like a huge celebrity, and they
Yeah,
would come in and then get killed immediately.
yeah, killed right in the beginning. Yes. In, I mean, literally within maybe 15 seconds. Literally that short.
Which is a genius
Police squad.
gag.
That's what's called. Police squad.
And if they wanted to do something like that, just have them come in for one gag, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. No, no, you definitely have to see the show. It's 6 episodes only. I've seen 5 of them. I think one I can't seem to find, but like it's really really fun.
Yeah, I need to see it. It's been recommended to me multiple times. I just watched Airplane, which was insane, but it was another kind of in that vein movie. And like, I'm like, okay, now I need to go and watch the Naked Gun movies because I've heard so many good things.
Leslie Nielsen was in that too.
Yeah, he's hilarious. So I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll like them.
I never seen it, but I mean I've seen so many clips of it. Like I could already tell how good the humor is.
Yeah.
And interesting is that he was always a dramatic actor
Hmm.
until these came along, and that was his first time doing comedy. So I was like, huh, he's pretty good at it.
Sometimes people who are in dramas
Hmm.
can sometimes be like really good comedy actors,
Yeah,
especially if it's in a role where they need to be serious, and that's where the comedy comes from.
mhm.
Like very dry humor almost. It's kind of like a British comedy thing, probably.
Yeah.
That really appeals to me. I really like people who are in a ridiculous situation and they're perfectly composed and perfectly serious about
Oh
it.
no, no, yeah, I love deadpan and dry wit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this becomes a thing in the new Muppet Show, if this becomes a show, which I really hope it does, I'll be down for it.
Yeah, me too. I am cautiously optimistic, and this could be just me and the algorithm serving me Muppets content because it knows I like Muppets content. But like for the past week, I have seen so much Muppet content. Like it
Okay.
seems like so many people are reviewing it, so many people are praising it. And again, I don't know what to believe with the algorithm because it'll show you what you want to see. So maybe it's
Yeah,
showing me that because I want to see that, but
that's what it's meant to do. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm hoping that it's not a fluke. I'm hoping it is actually being widely watched and widely loved.
Yeah, yeah. Like I also haven't heard like a single negative review of it, so I also haven't like gone on my way to find one either.
Yeah, yeah. I think the only things negative that I've seen about it are people just like nitpicking one or two things.
Yeah, I love Statler and Waldorf. I love seeing them back, and I think this also comes at a good time, especially like with the Muppet Vision show closing in Disney Hollywood Studios within the past
Mm,
year, and so it's like that was like the last thing Jim Henson worked on, so it was like a
hmm.
big piece of Muppet history just being lost, and then this kind of felt like I kind of felt this was the Muppet Vision come back to life.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard people talking like Muppet Vision is not dead, like they're wanting to just move it, but they don't have a plan as to where it's going yet. Maybe that's somebody being wishful thinking. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's like an actual plan.
They said there's some they're planning to keep it alive in some way, but I think when they say that, it already sounds more wishful than what
Mhm.
is intended. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to
Well,
wait, I guess.
I hope it does because I never got to see it. I've
I'm sorry.
never been to any of the parks, but that's one of the things that I really wanted to see. So
We got to
at
get
some
you to the
point,
park, Jonathan.
yeah, maybe by the time I have money and time, they will bring it back somewhere.
Jonathan's coming. We got to bring it back. Okay.
Well, is there anything else about the special you wanted to specifically highlight?
No, I think like I saw everyone I liked it. I like how it started with Scooter. Mrs. Carpenter, Miss Carpenter for 30 seconds. I heard her, Mrs. Carpenter, Miss Carpenter, whatever he says. So that was
Hmm.
nice. And Mrs. Piggy and everyone was there. Kermit's. I can't remember if Sam. Sam was there, right? Sam the Eagle.
He was the barkeeper
He was
in
a
the
barkeeper. Okay.
man-child
Mm-hmm.
segment.
And Statler and Waldorf were there. Like no, and Gonzo. I like what. Oh yeah, I like when he's just naming best actress, best supporting actress winners.
Diane Weist.
That's
There's so many good
such a
gags.
Gonzo thing.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, if Disney came to me and said, "Hey, it's up to me to decide whether or not they make this a real thing," I say yes, make it a real thing.
Yeah, me too. If they do make it a real thing, is there anything specific that you really want to see if they bring it back for good?
I want them to keep the same format, same have. I still would like, one guest star per episode, to hold the episode together. Same thing of multiple songs, but most of them being covers and older songs, like the variety aspect. I want to see
Hmm.
Statler and Waldorf still making jokes and all that. I
Hmm.
want to see all the Muppets that we mentioned. And then I have a list of celebrities that I guess we'll go through which guest stars we'd like to see. I want both people that are like relevant now, but I also want like people from like past generations who to like
Hmm.
pay tribute to them. So like I know he's very old now, but I would love to see Dick Van Dyke in an episode of the Muppet Show. Like
Yeah.
it would be a great way to pay tribute to him. I also would like the guest stars to be people who haven't been on Muppet Show previously or any sort of
Hmm.
Muppet thing before, just because it'd be cool for it to be new. So I have Dick Van Dyke, Jane Fonda. I think would be cool
Mm.
to be on there. Shirley
Lily
Jones.
Tomlin. They should do Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin together because they're kind
Yeah,
of like they do a lot of stuff together anyway. That'd be
yeah,
great.
they're kind of a pair. Yeah. Some of the newer ones like Lin Manuel Miranda. I think he'd be cool.
Mm,
I also
yes.
want people who could like sing, like
Yes.
or sing, well enough for me to enjoy it. Timothy Chalamet, I think he'd bring a lot of
Mm,
people. Rachel Zegler, I love her singing voice.
yeah.
And then even like some like Disney people like Alan Menken. I would love an Alan Menken episode. And Jim Cummins, the voice actor, I think he would be amazing to actually see on screen with the Muppets. And then have a couple like impressionists because like they remember they had the Rich Little episode, so I was thinking, oh, maybe Frank Caliendo or Jim Escuman. I think that would be very cool.
Mm,
And the one other person I had who acted with Muppets before, but I included him as Michael Caine because I think it would just be cool for him to actually be on a Muppet Show episode.
hmm.
And then, like, I feel they definitely would want to get Taylor Swift, but I don't know. I feel that was way out of their reach. But who knows? They got Sabrina Carpenter, so
I guess it depends on if she's a Muppets fan.
that's true. I don't know how she feels about it. But yeah, that was pretty much my list I had. What do you have?
Well, I'm trying to make more than one list because I'm recording more than one segment. So,
Oh yeah, what do you have for our episode?
like, I figured everybody else is going to have celebrities. And, like, I have, I would love Carol Burnett. I want Carol Burnett to do an episode before she's gone.
She did one.
She's still acting.
Yeah, I mean, she did one in the original run.
Well, she could do another one.
Okay, yeah. I just thought you meant she hadn't done one before.
I mean, I don't mind if people have done one in the past. I actually
Yeah,
think that would be really cool if they came back and do another one and then reference the old one. But Carol Burnett was one of the first people that popped into my mind.
no, that's perfect. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And then everybody else, I was trying to do things that everybody else wasn't saying, like Seth MacFarlane. Everybody always,
He was singing amazing.
yes, that like he's one of the people that people keep referencing as like, oh, he's got to come on. and Chapel Roan is another one. It's like, I don't want to say all the ones that everybody else is talking about because, like, sure, they could say good. They'd be good guest stars. I want to name people who are not immediate thoughts because, like, in the old series, they would have random episodes like Mummenschanz. Like, they'd have random, obscure people that nobody knows who they are. And I want that. And I also want them to lean into more puppetry. Like, you can get really meta with it if you want. Like, you don't have to, but you could get meta with the puppetry. And there's a few people online who do puppets that came to mind immediately.
Okay.
I think the most famous one would be Mallory Lewis, who is the daughter of Sherry Lewis. She still does Lamb Chop. I would love them to bring them on together. And you could have Lamb Chop be by herself if you wanted, like have her, like Mallory off screen puppeting her up. But I'd just like Mallory holding the Lamb Chop puppet. And you could make jokes about it, you could acknowledge it, or you could just have it be a thing that nobody cares that it's a puppet.
No, that makes sense. That'll be like Edgar Bergen when he brought Charlie McCarthy.
Yeah. Just, I don't know if Sherry Lewis ever did anything with the Muppets. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. So this would be a perfect way to do that because it feels like a mashup that needs to happen.
No, I agree with that one. That's a good idea.
And then I don't know if this is feasible or possible, but bring back the Sesame Street Muppets.
Yeah.
Like have them just to be a guest star for a show. Like have a few of them come on, maybe have them sit in the audience and make commentary while there's a celebrity human guest star. I don't know. I just feel like we need to bring the worlds of Jim Henson back together in some way, even if it's for just one episode.
Unite Jim Henson back together.
Yes.
Get Fraggle Rock one episode.
Yeah. But then beyond all of those, I want some more obscure puppeteers because there's a few online and I wrote down two immediately. I feel like there's more that I could think of, but like the two that came to mind immediately was there's a musician, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, Sofie Truax, Truax. She went viral when she made a music video with a puppet based on her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, interesting.
She's kind of hilarious. Like, I don't know if they could use her music. Like, some of it, like, it's not, like, family-friendly, but Sabrina Carpenter isn't super family-friendly either. So they could either edit her music or just have her come on and just bring her puppets and do some old songs. Yeah. And then I think my main, beyond Lamb Chop, my main puppet that I want on the show, there is a character, I think she blew up on TikTok, but I found her on Instagram and I now follow her on YouTube. The puppeteer her name is Malie. I guess it's Malie Mason. I've never heard her last name. I had to look her up just now to see if she had a last name. Malie Mason. But the puppet is named Estelle, and she made this thing out of a taxidermied fox. It is hilarious. I love Estelle. She calls her a dead cat, but it's a fox. Okay. It's ridiculous. She's made a bunch of other puppets now that I'm not sure if they're actual taxidermy, if they're made to look like taxidermy, but they're like a bunch of rats that are just gnarly looking puppets. They're like really hideous. But she is hilarious, and Estelle is hilarious, and I want Estelle to meet the Muppets, and I have a feeling that Malie is a Muppets fan. I don't remember if I've heard her say that, but there's just everything about how she uses Estelle just feels like it would fit right in with the Muppets. She's ridiculous, but sentimental. It's just, Estelle feels like a really ugly, not Muppet-looking Muppet. I really want Estelle to interact with the Muppets in some way.
That's fair, yeah. Highlighting these, like, more obscure ones, and they may end up becoming famous afterwards because of it. I think that's good.
Yeah.
You mentioning that reminded me of, the ventriloquist Darcy Lynn, the girl who won, like, America's Got Talent.
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking she might be a good one to come out with her ventriloquist dummies.
Yeah, she would. Mm-hmm. She has that old lady character. You could have her come on and befriend the costume lady. What's her name? The one who was fixing the chickens after they got their feathers blown off.
Name, but yeah. But yeah, she'd be good. I think she could sing too. So
Yes, she can.
okay, great.
I think she won based on her singing through the
Based on
puppets.
singing, okay,
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, it's an exciting time to be in the Muppets fandom because like if this succeeds, it could be something amazing. If they don't decide to go with it, then it'll be a very hard disappointment because it's like this is like the gold in the pot that Disney could do something with, and they're just choosing not to. So like I really hope something comes out of this.
Yeah, me too. I feel like even if it's not brought to a full series, not that I would be content with it, but like a best case or worst case scenario, second choice would be like one-off specials every once in a while. Like, if you're not going to give me a full series, just give me something.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't like that, but like you said, it's okay. Give me that instead of giving me nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we've got to say for now. This is only the first part of the podcast, so I will be back in a minute with someone else. But for you, until we do another episode in the future, do you want to let people know where they can find you online?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. And you can find me at the Animation Accommodation at theanimationaccommodation.com and my live action Disney project at myliveactiondisneyproject.com.
Okay. Well, we will see you in the future for another episode.
See ya.
Well, I've now watched this 6 times. If that gives you any indication as to what my feelings are on this special.
It's not enough. I don't think you're a fan.
I've only watched it once in total, but I have watched the Islands in the Stream segment a lot. Just that one part.
The music was so good.
It my brain in a good way.
Yes. The way Kermit and Sabrina's voices mixed in at least one section, it was like, this is so good.
I was like, yeah, that sounds good. When is it releasing on iTunes or whatever? Actually, Apple Music now. Spotify, whatever.
I honestly wasn't that familiar with Sabrina. Like, I knew who Sabrina Carpenter was, but like, to see her in person, I have a new respect for her just because it's like, oh, hey, she's part of this too.
Mm-hmm. And she fit in perfect.
I think she loves the Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
Don't quote me.
I mean, I think you could tell by how she was interacting. She was in this. She was enjoying herself.
I do like Sabrina Carpenter. So when I heard she was going to be in it, I was like, I'm locked in. I mean, I was already going to watch it because Muppets, but I'm like super locked in right now.
Nice. The reveal of when the fan goes and she ends up like covered in the feathers, that was such a cool little detail.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of cool little details in this.
And, I thought at first Man Child was kind of a weird song to pick, but then I was like, you know what? That's probably the most appropriate song or repertoire that they could work with.
It worked for this scene.
Yeah, it did. And seeing the chickens again was quite nice because I feel like the chickens aren't really involved in a lot of Muppet projects anymore.
You see Camilla every once in a while because she and Gonzo are a couple, but as far as like a big flock of chickens, that's a little more rare.
Yeah.
But then again, Muppet things in general are a little more rare these days.
They are. And I think this was it kind of balanced on folks that were fans of the 70s show. If you have any understanding of the Muppets in the past 50 years and for new people as well, that did a really nice job of kind of corresponding to all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Sabrina was like kind of the perfect guest to have for that. And I bet there are probably people out there like, no, she wasn't. But I think she was because the show was very much in spirit of the original show, but it also had Sabrina to appeal to people who would be a fan of her music nowadays. So hopefully it brought in some younger people who liked what they saw. Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
And with the older show, I would say I didn't even know who half of the guests were, and I still loved the show.
Yeah, the people at the time probably would have known.
Probably. But they had such a wide variety of guests.
They did.
Yeah.
That if you didn't know somebody one week, you would know them the next. And I feel like anybody going into this who doesn't know who Sabrina Carpenter is, they're still going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, obviously not in the same way, but you look at SNL, like there's a lot of people that come on there nowadays. I don't watch it all that much, but like I can appreciate it's more the comedy and what they bring to the table more than what it is like the person. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
and there's always that fine line of, well, they're playing to this person's strengths, the thing this person is known for, but that's it. And they kind of did that with Sabrina, but they did it in such an innovative way.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I also liked the angle of having other guest stars as cameos. I know not everybody was a big fan of that, but I thought it was the perfect amount of extra celebrities just there for a little bit, especially Maya Rudolph. I mean, I already love Maya Rudolph, but the scene where she dies, that I about died laughing.
I do think, especially in comparison to other Muppet projects, I actually rewatched the entirety of the Muppets. The show everybody was hoping was going to be a revival of the Muppet Show, but wasn't.
Yeah.
It was an Office ripoff. I actually rewatched that entire thing recently, and I actually don't hate it. I actually kind of like it.
Me neither.
But it has to grow
I
on
like
you.
it too. It's one of those things where I don't think it was given a fair shot. Like a lot of sitcoms have a rocky first season, and I think if this had been given a second season, it would have become amazing.
Well, I think the problem was a lot of people thought, especially because of the name, which was just the Muppets, a lot of people thought it was going to be a Muppet Show, even though it never promised to be that.
Yeah.
Especially coming after like kind of the Muppet revival movies, I could see why people were hoping for something like that, because those movies were basically like, wasn't the Muppet Show great, guys? Like, yeah, it was. Hey, they're getting a show again. Oh my gosh, they're getting a show again. Anyway, sorry, not to derail too much, but I brought that up because I will say one thing I do have about that show in comparison is they have a lot of celebrity cameos too. And some of them, is like okay length, but some of them like linger way too long. And it's just like, I don't know you. Can you go? So I don't know, at least here in this one I thought it was, well, I loved seeing Sabrina a lot, but like the other cameos were fine to me. Like they weren't too off-putting.
Yeah. I think the difference between the 2015 Muppets and this in regards to extended cameos is that in the 2015 Muppets, they are there as a cameo as themselves just to be there. But here, they're here for the comedy. They're here for a skit, and then they get in, they get out, and that's it. Whereas it's been so long since I've seen the 2015 sitcom, but the one that comes to mind first is RuPaul, and it felt like it was kind of an interview, if I'm remembering correctly. Although he was also in Muppets Now, so maybe I'm conflating the two.
I think you're thinking of Muppets Now, but he was in the Muppets as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he like gave them suits.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a bad cameo, but it felt more like a stint just to be there.
Just to be there. Like, if they called him, hey, you want to be in it? He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then,
which is fine, but it's not funny.
maybe he has to be in it. I don't know.
It doesn't add anything special to that moment.
Yeah.
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 Whereas I felt like these cameos had a purpose to them. Like there was a reason for them. So like I was fine with it.
Yeah, because Seth Rogen is the executive producer, so him having a cameo is kind of a no-brainer, and they made it funny by having him going to ostensibly be on the show and then getting cut, and then kind of griping about it at the end.
Yeah.
That would be kind of if they choose to take it further, like kind of a cute reoccurring gag.
Yeah, it could be a running gag if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good gag. Like later, he's like, "Finally, we're gonna be on the show." It's like, "Oh, your number is cut."
Yep. Sorry, we need you to go out and get coffee, or Miss Piggy needs, whatever. So, I do think too and I didn't watch 2015 Muppets, but you look at that time and place, I think there was a certain amount of fatigue with that particular form of like sitcom.
That is also kind of true. Like I do love some of those shows, but I think a lot of people were probably kind of over them.
Yeah, I loved Parks and Rec, but I don't know. But at that time, it was already kind of tired, frankly. So it was like it was people wanted a Muppet Show, and it wasn't a Muppet Show. And it was also a format people were already getting tired of. Like, whoop.
Well, and I think too that like with the Muppets, they're so iconic and they've done everything. Trying to
Yeah.
find something new that makes them relevant again, like reinventing them but still keeping their essence.
Yeah.
That's not a simple thing. And you're coming from nothing against Disney, but Disney does tend to continue to do what they feel works and what they feel will be the easiest way to make money
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways. I mean, no disrespect. I think that's just, I mean, that's business. But like the Muppets are such a unique case. Like they don't fit into any box particularly well. They have their own box. And how do you make that work?
Yeah.
I honestly think Disney has never really known what to do with the Muppets.
I would agree.
Like, yeah, like, and I've had some people be like, well, there were successful Muppet projects after Disney bought them. And it's like, yeah, but they were already like in the pipeline before Disney bought them, or shortly after. And I don't even, frankly, I don't even really understand why Disney bought them. It seems like it's like the ugly stepchild sometimes.
Well, Jim
Like, they
Henson
don't
was
know.
trying to sell to Disney when he was still alive. Like, this was in the
Yeah.
works back in the 90s
Yeah.
or maybe 80s. It might have been early or late 80s. But
Well,
then
they-
it stalled out after
they-
he died.
Yeah, see, I'm a Muppet fan, but I'm not like a fan, you know what I mean? So I don't have my dates down. I personally do believe Henson's death kind of played a role in Disney not knowing what to do with the Muppets.
Probably.
And yeah, and again, I've had some people be like, well, he was selling them off, like he wasn't going. And I'm like, I'm sure they would have still had him as a creative consultant. I don't think he would have been completely gone.
Right. He's not like George Lucas, where it was an outright sale. You might offer hints, but by and large, this is our party.
I
Yeah.
think Henson's thinking was he could do more with the backing of Disney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I also think Henson, again, I'm not an expert on Jim Henson, but he was always like doing something new. So I think he probably wanted the money to do something new, but I don't think he would have been entirely divorced from it either. Like, yeah, like for instance, he wasn't a constant presence on Sesame Street, but he still would be on Sesame Street sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a project he successfully launched, and he would return to it, but he wasn't like, he didn't abandon it. So I'm pretty sure it would have been that way for the Muppets too.
Mm-hmm.
And after he died, I think Disney just didn't know what to do with the Muppets because they didn't have someone they didn't have Henson. And yeah, so I think it's just they've just been on the struggle bus this whole time.
Yeah.
I also find it just absolutely bizarre how allergic Disney has been and the Muppets have been to even doing the Muppet Show again. Because it's like, it's what everybody has been asking for this entire time is a new Muppet Show. And I have seen the commentary of like, well, they stopped it because they wanted to end in a good place, like in the original. And it's like, I get that, but people want it again. Like, you're telling me there's no new novelty songs you could do, there's no new celebrities you could do, there's like no humor to be found in current day now to work with. Like, I have no idea why it took this long to get to this point. And even this is just a special, and like, they really had to test the waters to see if people would be interested in this show. But hopefully it looks like people are very interested. It seems to be doing very well.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely.
from what I've heard, it's been very well received.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I went to Disney Plus, it was like the top played thing
Yes.
or something.
It was last I checked.
Yeah.
I do think too that like, because you look at a lot of this stuff, say out of the 60s and 70s, variety shows, things like SNL, other type of shows that kind of follow that sketch format. When you're talking about at least like broadcast TV, now obviously this isn't, but it's as big as anything that was on broadcast. Like they've tried to bring back the variety shows and stuff with very little success. I think that it was a risk. Like the Muppets to them seem like they kind of are a risk. They try to throw stuff at a wall to see what's going to stick. So the idea of bringing this back without a relatively solid foundation of, okay, we may not, this may not like blow our hair back, but it's not going to completely bomb either. Nostalgia is great as long as you find that right balance. And I feel like with this, at least, it seems like, they found the good balance of like old and new and found, a decent middle ground.
I definitely think there's nostalgia in the old show, 100%. But it's also kind of the perfect format
It
to
is.
still be nostalgic and new at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
which is probably why I'm frustrated it took this long.
Oh. Well,
But, you know, as long as it happens.
look at randomly, like, and I'm probably rehashing a little bit, but like you look at Marvel and the Hulk, and like
Yeah.
the Hulk is incredibly good in small doses, but as a standalone, his movies were okay, but they were never fantastic. Not to say that the Muppets can't do movies, because they can, but this is a nice way, like those short little bits that kind of reintroduce people, a new generation to that. I think that it worked well. Like it was the right format and the right way to reintroduce them to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people talk about, like, the variety show is dead, so the Muppets can't work. But, like, what is SNL if not a variety show?
Well, it's not as popular as it was either, though. Like,
I know, but people
it's not.
still watch it. The clips on YouTube get millions of views,
Oh,
like the
agreed.
ones that really pop off.
Agreed. But I don't think, like, for every one that pops off, there's 15 that kind of crash and burn,
Probably, but they're still making it, so why can't they still make the Muppets?
I feel like, okay. What frustrates me about the entertainment industry is, okay, people will get tired of a certain format. So at some point, variety shows were everywhere. People got tired of it. Understandable. I get tired of things, you know. So then entertainment stops making this a thing, and they do something else, and that's fine. But then they act like said thing can never ever be popular again. And it's like, it can't be. People can be into variety shows. Like, so I think another element we're missing here is I do believe there was an attempt at another Muppet show in the 90s called like Muppets Tonight.
Yes.
And that
Which is
didn't
not
do
available
well.
to stream anywhere, so I haven't seen
Yeah.
that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I've tried to watch it myself. There's some clips on YouTube, but it didn't do well. But it was kind of supposed to be an updated version of the Muppet Show for the 90s, I guess. Which I'm kind of like, I think that's your problem there. You try to be cool, but like still, and that didn't go well. But the idea that just because a variety show didn't work well in the 90s, that it can't work well ever again really frustrates me.
Oh, yeah.
And it just seems like, oh, we did try another Muppet show with Muppets Now, and it's like, but that was so cheap.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even originally a show. That was repurposed. They were making clips for social media, and then Disney was like, this needs to be a show, so patch them all together somehow and make it into a Disney Plus show.
Oh, I thought they were like hindered by COVID or something, but I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I'm pretty sure when Muppets Now was announced, it was like a social media thing. Like it's going to be this ongoing social media thing where they're going to be making like 5 to 10 minute like YouTube clips that'll be shareable. But then when Disney Plus launched, they scrapped that idea and repurposed what they'd already shot to make a streaming show.
Okay. I don't remember. I have to admit, I only watched a few episodes because I ended up getting really frustrated at some point.
Some of it was very funny. Some of it was very cringy.
Some of it
was
hilarious.
Such a mixed bag.
Yeah, it was too much of a mixed bag for me. I still have Gonzo moment in my head. He asked like a celebrity something crazy now, and I was so like that was really freaking funny, but like the rest of the show was so painfully not unfunny. It was painfully not funny. Especially the bits with the Swedish chef were just like I hated it. So I was a little bit worried after that, but this one was great. They finally get back on track. It's not as good as the original show, I will say that. But, the original show struggled too in like its first season, so
I think a lot of shows do, which is another reason why I'm frustrated by the 2015 Muppets. Like, give them time to find their footing, and they weren't given that time.
All right.
But so many people, I will say, I understand why Disney canceled that one, because so many people just like immediately gave up on it after the first episode, because people aren't very forgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did take a lot of the feedback into consideration and try to alter it, but it was just people weren't willing to give them another chance.
Yeah, it was shot in two halves. The first half was not well received, and they retooled a lot of things for the second half, but by then it was kind of too late. People were tuning out, and I thought it really improved in the second half.
It really did.
So much funnier.
It actually did.
And that's too bad that they don't like they can't see the overtime improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of TV these days. They aren't given enough time. It's the reason why I hardly ever start new shows, is because like there's a lot of buzz around, oh, Netflix is doing this big new sci-fi show, and I used to be all over anything sci-fi that was on TV, and I was burned too many times. Like you get one season, there's a cliffhanger ending, no more. So I don't even start anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost have to wait until it's finished just to
Yes.
make sure you have the time to, do
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, that it also frustrates me when like a show obviously like changes creative direction like in the midst of it. Like somebody's taking over or something, and it's just like, man, I don't know. Shows can be such a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they totally can be, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, regarding the Muppets, I do hope this is the start of something new. I think Disney will be missing a trick if they don't at least try for one season.
Yes.
And a full good season.
Yeah. In general, the Disney company right now is so risk averse, and I guess right now, I understand, but like the past decade or so has been absolutely horrendous. No risks at all. Or the risks they do take end up backfiring because they're being dumb about it. Which, I would say, I don't know. I'm just so I hope Disney takes the risk, because even this was like kind of like just testing the waters, and I hope they actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone else watch Muppets at Haunted Mansion?
Yes, but I don't remember a lot of it, which I think is a problem. It did not stick with me.
It wasn't very funny.
I remember liking it while I was watching it, but not enough to rewatch it.
Yeah, I was actively forgetting while I was watching it.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, I love the Haunted Mansion, and I love the Muppets. So like that should have been up my alley, right? Nope. I haven't rewatched it. We didn't like it. So I'm really happy that this one has gone well. I really hope that the Muppets continue to do okay, and because I'm kind of worried about the Muppets right now. I don't know if you heard, but they lost their studio, and
At Disneyland, you mean?
Disney World.
no, I mean their actual studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sold their studio space. It was the
Oh, that's
historic
right.
Charlie Chaplin studio.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm surprised y'all haven't heard that.
I guess I had forgotten. I was thinking
Yeah.
of the Disneyland attraction.
Well, Disney World, they did also close Muppet Vision. To be a little bit fair to the Disney execs in that case, like it was literally from the 90s, and people weren't attending it as much as they used to. And the Muppets are now being put into Rock and Roller Coaster, which needed a retheme anyway. I honestly don't understand how that's going to work, because it's a roller coaster. So are they
Yeah,
just going
I
to be
don't
like
know.
plywood cutouts that you go by? But I don't know. We'll see. Though the show does well, maybe that will motivate them to do a really good job on that ride. I don't know.
All I can do is hope.
Yeah. Though I'm also like kind of along with Muppet Vision, we're also losing like the whole little Muppet land they had. So there was like a pizza place and like a store, which kind of like also told me like, well, even when they actually made that area, I was kind of surprised that they would, because they seemed to like not be invested in the Muppets. So I was like, okay, this shows like some investment in wanting the Muppets to work. And now like, okay, never mind, we're just cutting them out of their own land. Oh, guests are upset. Okay, they'll be in the roller coaster, which we needed to retheme anyway. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, Muppet Vision has been closed for Disneyland for a while.
Yeah, I got to ride it. I was there last March, and I think they closed in June. So
Yeah.
Lucky.
I went to the Muppet Vision in California Adventure in the 2000s, and it's a perfectly fine show. The problem was that it was like out of the way. It's a weird theater. It's hard to find. They just put it in this really weird place. And now they have Mickey's Fill Our Magic, and guess what? People still can't find it. They still don't know where it is, so they don't go see it. But they took that as a sign at that time that nobody cared about the Muppets, and it's like, well, that's like shooting yourself in the foot and being like, oh, someone shot me. Like, Anyway, sorry. I'm a little scattered today, but basically what I'm saying is I feel like Disney has never really known what to do about the Muppets. I hope this is the right direction, especially because I feel like they fumbled it after how well the movies had done. And, yeah.
Do you think getting a new CEO will help? Because apparently the new guy is a fan of the Muppets.
I have thoughts. Keep in mind this is just me as a fan commentating on this, nothing else. And yes, but also I don't know. I actually don't really know that much about Josh DeMario, which is funny because I probably have met him and just didn't notice him. I don't notice people. But I've heard he's really nice. And I was just talking to someone yesterday who was like, oh yeah, he like recognized me from a mundane conversation we had like 2 years ago. I was like, that's crazy.
I'm lucky if I remember somebody from 2 weeks ago.
I'm lucky if I remember someone from yesterday. Like, no, I'm fine with yesterday, but still. So I've heard he's really nice. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed that works out. I'm also hoping having a CCO also is good, because I feel like Disney's always done the best when you have a creative risk taker, and then you have someone who's a bit more like stable financially to be, somebody with their heads in the clouds, somebody with their feet on the ground. I think that's always worked the best for Disney.
Yes.
So hopefully that happens. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that said, I have seen things under Josh's realm, and I'm not entirely convinced that he'll save the company. But I don't know. Let's just say I've seen things supposedly under his control that I haven't been entirely happy with. However, I don't know how much of that was his control or how much of that is what he was mandated to do from the higher ups of the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, cautious optimism.
That's probably the best way to go forward regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's time for Bob Iger to go. I am happy about that. I'm happy that everyone else is seeing what I saw for years. I felt like I was nuts because I was like, I don't think he's good for the company. It's like, what are you talking about? He bought us Marvel. And it's like, okay. So yeah, new era. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think I'm feeling cautious optimism too. Same with Star Wars. The dual company heads, I think, are the way to go.
Yeah.
Having a creative person and a money person. I feel like that's going to work so much better than just one person who's in charge of everything.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they thought, well, I guess because Eisner did it. Look how well that turned out.
He has quite a mixed reputation, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it works until it doesn't.
Yeah.
To be honest, I am going to defend Eisner a little bit. I think he got butthurt when Disneyland Paris didn't work out and everything kind of spiraled from there. But anybody with a brain would have known the Parisians wouldn't want Disneyland Paris. So but he made a lot of smart decisions prior to that. But whether that was because of Frank Wells most people feel like it was because of Frank Wells. But I don't know who else he would have even put in. But anyway, that's the past. Future, cautious optimism. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, if the Muppet Show does come back, is there anything that you guys would like to see from a new show?
Pigs in space!
I feel like that has to come back.
I was going to say, I feel like that's a given, but I'm hoping that that's a given.
I really wish that Disney had done this before when they were still having to deal with Doctor Who, because the Doctor Who crossover with the Muppet Show would have been amazing.
Yes, that would have been so good.
Disney sleeping on their opportunities here.
Disney sleeps on so many opportunities. That would have been so good.
That's it, though. I know there is a David Tennant stage appearance with Pigs in Space. I don't know what, but I saw it on YouTube. But there is technically has been a crossover, but it's just has not been in a show.
Yeah, it wasn't like an official release. It was something that happened at one time in one place.
Yeah, but that would have been amazing to have Pigs of Space come back. And well, now you can do Pigs of Space, I guess, with Star Wars crossover.
Yeah. Which they've
I'm sure
already
people
done,
love
so there's
that.
precedent for a Star Wars special.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they'll do another one.
Yeah.
I would say bring Mark Hamill back for another appearance. I would like them to bring back not everybody who's still alive, but the people who are really well known that people still really love that were on the old Muppet Show. Bring them back for another appearance, and then have some references to the original appearance.
That would be fun. Anybody still alive? Yeah.
Like one of them tries to fit into his old pants, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't fit into my pants."
I'm trying to think of anybody right now, though. I'm having a hard time, but
Probably Cher, obviously. Wasn't Steve Martin, maybe?
Ooh, I would love Steve Martin.
He was on the original, but there was some. It's been so long since I've seen that one. Wasn't there like he wasn't able to be on the show, but he was on the show, and it was like a joke?
I don't remember. I know he was in the movie, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he had an episode too. I'll have to rewatch it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, I am kind of like I need to rewatch a show.
You have to go back and rewatch it? Oh, man.
Oh, no. That's so much time used, well spent. What will I do? I'm looking forward to more celebrities. I feel like I've been watching some of the related promo material, which, to be honest, it hasn't been that great. I feel like the Kermit performers and the Miss Piggy performer is like, they don't have great chemistry yet. Maybe they're just not used to doing this as much as they used to. Or I guess Matt Vogel's still kind of newish. Whatever.
He's been there almost 10 years now, but...
Yeah, I know. That is the kind of thing. Like, everyone's like, oh, he's getting used to it. It's like, he's been Kermit for a while. I don't know how much more time you could give him.
The thing, he hasn't had a lot of appearances, though. Like,
yeah, that is the
Disney's
thing.
done so few things that it still feels like he's new.
I will say, I do like his Kermit more.
I kind of do too.
I like the personality more.
Yes. Everybody keeps talking about how he's not the same, the voice is different. And I'm like, I mean, Steve Whitmire wasn't the same as Jim Henson either. And I almost feel like Matt Vogel is closer to Jim Henson than Steve Whitmire was.
I think definitely personality-wise. Personally, I don't think the voice is as big of a deal because I'm kind of like, Mickey Mouse's voice has changed throughout the decades and you just get freaking used to it.
Yeah.
People are looking for things to be pissed off about, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was kind of I think there was a hint. I don't remember which video it was, but one of the promo videos, it might have been the lie detector test. They had a picture of Chapel Roan, like asking one of the Muppets what they thought about her or something. And I was like, yes, Chapel Roan, please.
She would be perfect. She's one that I keep seeing brought up.
Yeah. And I'm just like, fingers crossed, let it happen. I feel like that might have been a hint, but I don't know. You know. But they did, I don't know if you guys are aware, they did arrest Miss Piggy at one of Sabrina Carpenter's shows, and that was obviously a hint that this is going to happen, but we didn't know it at the time.
I think when it happened, I saw the clips like popping off on social media, and everybody was like, is this a hint about something?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. So I'm like, is that a hint about that? But we'll see. I can't think if there's any other like current day celebrities I'd like to see. Maybe Selena Gomez.
Yeah, she'd be good because she can both sing and act. I was trying to think of people who can do both, and not everybody can do both.
I'm now realizing that I'm just listing off people from Only Murders in the Building, but I like Martin Short as well from that. So I'm like,
he would also be great.
Yeah. Maybe all of them together, since they do start a show together or something.
Yeah,
but,
that could work. A lot of my picks are people who, like, everybody's always talking about the big celebrities they want to see, but like the Muppet Show didn't always go for the big, huge, obvious celebrities. So I kind of want to see them, not that they need to like lean into being hip and modern, but I feel like they can do a mix and do some people who are famous on the internet too.
They had a lot of stage celebrities as well, so that would be nice because I feel like especially nowadays there's such a divide between stage personalities and movie personalities or TV, and as you said also like now we have like internet personalities. There's even more of a availability. There's this magician I watch on YouTube called Lucy Valentine, I think. And
I know who you're talking about. She would be good. I didn't even think of her. Yes.
Yeah. if they did an internet personality, there's lots of different like options they could go with. I feel like she'd be a good one, especially as a magician.
Yes. I saw a lot of people talking about dropout stars, which I think would be good. I don't know how well a lot of them can sing. They do have some on there that can sing. We've talked about it before. I watched a bunch of episodes with Nicki. There's a few that they did a whole improved musical. Like they improvised an entire musical, which it was just mind-blowing that it actually worked.
It was awesome.
It worked so well that they released an album. So some of them can sing. I think, like, I don't want to get into the place where, like, they're having a bunch of people on at the same time. So I don't want to say, like, just bring on everybody. But one person who, he didn't start out in Dropout. Like, I knew him years ago. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Brian David Gilbert. He had a lot of semi-viral, weird songs. He's a good songwriter, but he's also a huge nerd. He's now, like, the fact checker for, like, there's a trivia show on Dropout. So he's like the guy in the back that fact checks the different questions and stuff, making sure everybody's getting the right answers. But he's very funny, and he can sing, and he can act. I think he would be a great, weird little internet guest star if they wanted to go in the internet guest star route.
I think they should go with a lot more novelty songs, and I feel like the internet has lots of options for novelty songs to do.
I wrote down a few people who I thought would be good guest stars. I don't know, like, it depends. Like, Sabrina Carpenter's not super family friendly, so I guess it depends on how much they want to rein
even the
in
original
the people.
show, not everyone was family friendly.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So people don't have to be family friendly to be on the Muppet Show, but like I have a few in mind that they kind of toe the line. There's a singer, his name is Carter Vail. You've probably seen some of his songs. He was the Dirt Man song that went extremely viral for whatever reason.
I don't know that. I've been living under a rock.
John, your finger is more on the pulse of pop culture than the two of us, apparently.
I'll find you the short.
Okay. I've had a novelty song called Disco Snails in my head for a few days.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Oh yeah, it was like, and I was just like, they could make little snail Muppets.
Yes. Oh, that would be perfect.
There's options. There's so many novelty songs now.
Hey, this is Jonathan breaking in. At this point, we kind of went on a wild YouTube rabbit trail playing clips of people we thought would be good candidates for a musical guest, or more specifically, a novelty musical guest, someone musically talented but also funny. But in the interest of not getting a copyright strike on YouTube, and because we spent upwards of like an hour listening to music, I'm cutting this section, but I will link to some of the songs we played and some of the artists that we think would be good guests. Those include the aforementioned Brian David Gilbert and Carter Vail, as well as OCT, or On Company Time, Danny Gonzales, Leslie Hall, Tom Cardy, and Kyle Gordon. I'll have links to each of them in the description. Just keep in mind that not all of it is completely family friendly, but these artists would all be extremely talented and funny, with or without their own original music. Well, I have a lot of ideas, and I probably could get into more of them, but I'm probably recording with at least one other person, so I'm going to save some of them. But I think, safe to say, there is plenty that the Muppets could do if they come back. So I'm hoping that this actually did as well as it seems to have done. We'll see.
Yeah.
I can only hope.
Well, I think that will be all for now, but if you guys would like to let people know where they can find you online, Nicki?
You can find me at Trivial Theater. I do quite a wide array of random, obscure, and straight-up bad movies. There's always something new over there, so stop by and say hi. And thanks, John, for having me on. It's been fun.
And Jenna?
I'm Love Gift of a Fairy Tale on YouTube. I also do Alice Wonderland specific media on my YouTube channel, Still She Haunts Me Phantom-wise.
Okay, well, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again for something else in the future.
Take care.
See you soon.
Are you a big Muppet Show fan, or Muppet fan in general?
I've always liked the Muppets. I've always really enjoyed enjoyed what they do, but I didn't grow up watching the Muppet Show. It's only been when I've been, now that I'm an adult and I've looked back and I've watched the episodes. I saw bits and pieces of them here and there.
Mhm.
I had a VHS, which had some Muppet Show episodes on there, but I didn't have like a complete overview of the whole series and everything that they did. So it's been really nice to sort of cherry pick and go back to some episodes. But of course, like the Muppets and the characterization of the Muppets from the older films has always, I've always really enjoyed that sort of energy and chaos. Yeah, I love the Muppets.
Yeah, I grew up with the movies. I never saw the show until I was an adult and they started releasing DVDs. Because I knew it existed, but it was never on TV when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's funny because they shot the Muppet Show in the UK, so there's like this interesting vibe to it that it reminds me of so many of the shows that I did grow up with when I was a kid. It's just that I didn't have that full exposure at the time to the Muppet Show, so it's been really nice to revisit it, and especially in the spirit of this new special, to go back to some of those episodes and really see how they've managed to recapture some of that magic.
So you liked the new special?
I did, yes. I thought they did a really pretty good job with it. They made some good choices. I think having Sabrina Carpenter as the main guest, she worked perfectly. I think she was a great choice. And having Maya Rudolph and Seth Rogen, who obviously had a major hand in producing this special as well, was really good. It feels like it was done with love and irreverence as well. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't putting the Muppets and what they stand for too much on a pedestal, which I think the previous modern attempts at doing the Muppets have gone a little bit wrong, I think, because they misunderstood some of the characterization of the Muppets. And I'm thinking particularly of Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy, as she is in this special, is much more like how the character is presented in the Muppet Show, and like the version of Miss Piggy that I love, who is this character who is like so delusional. Do you know what I mean?
That is a good way of describing her.
Yeah, Delulu Miss Piggy. And she sees herself as the biggest star in the world. But she's a pig, and that's part of the joke. And it feels like a lot of modern, Muppet projects have treated Miss Piggy as if she is a celebrity. Do you know what I mean? Like, and have given her, and it's like missing the point of the joke of Miss Piggy in a lot of ways. So this felt like a refreshing return to what Miss Piggy always really was to me. Who is a lovable character, but just, Delulu.
That makes me question what you might have thought of the 2015 Muppets. Did you see that show?
I did see that show, and I thought it was an interesting take, and I kind of understood what they were trying to do with it on paper, but it just didn't. It didn't work for me. I think a real key thing about the success of the Muppets is just that energy. There needs to be that sort of rebelliousness and edginess and spirit to it. And that 2015 series, instead of that energy, they tried to make things edgier by putting it into this context of it being, real relationships and things like that, but it just didn't strike the balance properly for me. So going back to the format of let's have the Muppet Show, let's have these characters just do their thing on this stage was the right call to me. I think that was a really good choice.
Yeah, definitely. I liked the 2015 Muppet Show. I didn't love it. I think it was one of those shows that it could have gotten good if it had been allowed to find its footing. It felt like they were just starting to find their footing, and then it was canceled. So, Like I liked it for what it was, but it was not perfect.
Yeah, I can agree with that to some extent. I maybe it just needed a little bit more time before going into production for the writers to establish what they were going for. Do you know what I mean? I didn't. I have to be honest. I didn't finish watching that full series. Like I didn't watch the last couple of episodes. So maybe if I went back to it and gave it another go.
If I
But
remember correctly, they made the first half, and then there
uh
were lots of complaints about like all these things they didn't like. So they took a break, retooled it, came back,
right.
and then it started getting better and better and better. And
Hmm.
by the end, it was like, this is almost what I want, and then they canceled it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll give those last few episodes a go because it's strange, isn't it? Because very often when a show tries something that's different and then it gets, there's a lot of complaints or whatever come in and then
Hmm.
they retool it, quite often that backfires and the show is worse as a result of trying to accommodate all of that feedback.
Mm,
So it's good to hear that this, successfully took some of that on board and
hmm.
was getting better. But yeah, of course, it didn't work out for them getting renewed. But
Which I'm not too sad about. Like if
yeah,
there had been no other Muppet projects, then I would have been sad that that was the last thing we ever got. But
hmm
now that fingers crossed, the Muppet Show is coming back. It's fine that there's this one odd sitcom version of the Muppets from a decade
yeah,
ago.
uh-huh. Yeah, and I suppose that goes for the movies as well. The
Hmm.
Muppet movie with Jason Segel and
Which I didn't love. Like, so many people just loved that movie. I liked
yeah.
Muppets Most Wanted better, even though it wasn't the same as the movies I
Mm,
loved from when I was a kid. I thought it
hmm
captured the spirit of the Muppets better than just the
Yes.
Muppets.
Yes, the Muppets felt more like it was about Jason Segel's relationship with the
Yes.
Muppets than it was to
Yes.
do with the Muppets themselves. And
Uh-huh.
I didn't really care for Muppets Most Wanted, but I absolutely agree that it felt more in line with the old Muppet movies and like the spirit of the Muppets.
Hmm.
I think that the Muppets, the Jason Segel film, was a really interesting film, and there were a lot of successful elements to it. But yes, it's almost like its own thing in a bubble.
Hmm.
And I would be very interested to see whether they ever bring Walter back into the fold as a Muppet proper.
I know I saw a lot of people complaining online, like, where is Walter? Why isn't he in the new Muppet Show? I'm like, I
Hmm.
figure give it time, he'll probably
Yeah.
pop up. But I don't think I would have wanted him in the very first episode because I would want it to feel like the old Muppet Show, and that if he was there, it would
Yes.
feel too much like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It was great to see so many deep cut characters in the mix
Yes.
for this new one, like the Flying Zucchini Brothers and Hilda and Johnny Fiamma. Like, it's just such a nice thing to include
And the
some of those
long
characters.
scene with Maya Rudolph and the Beautiful Day Monster.
Yes.
I love his expressions.
Yes. Yeah. I love that we saw the Frackles, like
Uh-huh.
just some really fun inclusions, I think, with the Muppet cast there.
That
Yeah,
whole
that was
scene
really
where
nice to see.
Sabrina Carpenter is beating up the Frackles.
Yeah. That
That
was
was
great.
great.
Yeah. And again, like I mentioned, Sabrina Carpenter as a choice was perfect for this.
Uh-huh.
I see this rather than a special. I see this almost as like a pilot for a new
Yes.
version of the Muppet Show, and I hope that it does become that. I hope that we do get
Uh-huh.
more episodes of this. But she was such a great choice of guest for this. For this version of the Muppet Show because there's a lot of comedy about her persona anyway.
Hmm.
She is an actress, she as well as a singer, so you got the musical numbers, but she was able to banter and do the sort of back and forth with the Muppets. It
Hmm.
didn't feel awkward. It all felt very natural, and the islands and the stream sequence was such a great showcase for the Muppet performers too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt Vogel, who has taken over as the performer for Kermit, has had a bit of criticism because his speaking voice as Kermit, it isn't the closest to Jim Henson's, or Steve Whitmire's, who was the previous voice of, previous performer of Kermit. But what really struck me during the Islands in the Stream sequence was how much Kermit sounded like Kermit when he sings, which was fun to me. And I just thought that was a really well conceived number, the Islands in the Stream one.
I feel like he hasn't been given enough time. Like, yes, it's been almost a decade, but like the Muppets have done so few things in the last decade, so it feels like he just hasn't been given enough time to really become Kermit.
Yes.
Because like every time we saw him, it was mostly for short appearances in kind of almost throwaway things. Yes, we had Muppets Now as a TV series, but that was originally supposed to be like web shorts that they kind of expanded a bit to make a short TV series, and Kermit wasn't the main focus. So it just feels like if we give him more time, he will grow into the role. And I almost feel like his Kermit sounds closer to Jim Henson's than Steve Whitmire's did. That was the first thing that struck me when I first heard him. Like, yes, this is not what we've gotten used to in the past, 20 years, however long he did it, but it almost feels like the really old Kermit.
Yes, I hear what you're saying there, and I totally agree. I think it's just a case of getting used to it to some extent, but I was glad that he had this really nice showcase for his singing voice as Kermit, because that was really where, like I mentioned, it really jumped out at me that it felt like this was really Kermit that was in the Islands in the Stream sequence. Yeah.
I think this is the first time where watching through the whole thing, other than listening for it at the very beginning, I completely forgot there was ever a controversy with his voice. It was like this was Kermit.
Yeah, you're just kind of accepting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, one of my other highlights, just because it was so bizarre, and speaking of, newer performers coming into a role, was the whole Rizzo performance of Blinding Lights.
I loved that scene.
I
liked that
it.
song, but then to have Rizzo doing it, it was like this. I almost like this better than the real version.
Oh, me too. It worked so well, and part of it was because they were doing it quite sincerely in a lot of ways, and it just felt so like only the Muppets could do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was just something about that. That was the moment where I knew they'd done a great job with this special. I think there were a lot of highlights in the episode, but that was the moment where I was like, yeah, they've nailed this. They've done a really good job.
Yeah.
And lovely to see Yolanda Rat as well.
Yes. She's one of my favorite things from the 2015 series.
Yes.
Like her character, her and Uncle Deadly, I think, are the two breakout stars of that series. And I'm so glad that they're here. And I hope we get more of them if the show fully comes back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Uncle Deadly would be great to have a bit more material for him. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Miss Piggy, their dynamic in the 2015 series, that is like one of the main reasons why I can never dislike the show, is because I love them together.
Yeah, it's a good combo.
Well, if the show does come back, are there any things that you would like to see, like any guest stars, or like they sometimes would do theme shows? Is there anything that maybe pop culture-wise has been happening recently that you think would be good for the Muppets to spoof?
So I wonder if I don't think you could build a whole episode around it, but I wonder, given the success of the new Wuthering Heights film, I could see Miss Piggy and Kermit, getting into some kind of big romance movie situation again, perhaps. I don't know about themed episodes, because I think those have to happen quite organically. So, and it needs to be something that is like of the moment. My favorite themed episode of a sort from the original incarnation of the Muppet Show was the Vincent Price episode,
Mm.
where they leaned into the sort of spooky vibes and the gothic horror. So I don't know if they could do anything like that now. And this isn't. I wouldn't want a themed episode about Wicked, but I would love to see both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande as guests on the Muppet Show. I think they would be excellent guests, especially now that we've seen like how strong Ariana's comedy chops are.
Uh-huh.
I think she'd be a great guest. And yeah, again, Cynthia's obviously an amazing singer, so and an actress. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun, I think, to see both of those, whether they were in the same episode or separately. But those are two guest stars I would love to see.
They would be good guest stars. I like that the Muppets never favor one kind of a guest star. I think they both, like, even if you weren't doing like a Wicked themed episode, they would be good guest stars on their own. I feel like
Mm,
Cynthia Erivo would be one of the more sincere guest stars,
yes.
and Ariana Grande would be one of the more wacky ones.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking Cynthia would maybe be more like sort of Bernadette Peters when when she had that, that whole just, if just one person believes in you, that number
Yeah.
that was so heartfelt. I could see Cynthia doing something along those lines. And yeah, Ariana having fun with the zany comedy of it all.
hmm For me, I would like them to do more guest stars that maybe not everybody knows about.
Mm,
Because, like, they would have random people that are, like, maybe famous for their one niche thing.
hmm.
Like, I've brought it up on with other people I've talked to, but, like, they had an episode with Mummenschanz. And, like,
Oh yeah.
nobody knew who Mummenschanz was. I
Hmm.
still only know them from the Muppet Show. But that was a great episode, and I feel like there's other
Yes.
stuff that they could do. Like, you don't even have to go as like obscure as Moment Shots, like even just celebrities from other countries.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy from Iceland who's like become one of my favorite musicians recently. I don't know if you've heard of him, Daði Freyr.
Oh yes, yeah, because he did Eurovision.
Yes.
And yeah, yes, yeah. He's great. Yeah, I think he would be a fantastic call
Uh-huh.
to work with the Muppets. Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because when you have celebrities who themselves are clearly big Muppet fans, it
Uh-huh.
could go one way or the other, couldn't it? Like it could almost be like they're so reverent of the Muppets that they don't want to get it wrong, and it might sort of freeze them up a bit. But Brett Goldstein, who
Mm. Oh, I think
is
I've read that he was a big Muppet fan. Yeah.
he's a huge Muppet fan, and he talks a lot about I think Muppets Christmas Carol is his favorite film. He's a movie podcaster as well as an actor. He's in Ted Lasso and Shrinking and lots of other things,
I
but
don't
he's a
think I knew
big.
he had a movie podcast. I'll have to look
Yeah,
that up.
oh, his movie podcast is great. It's called Films to be Buried with, and
Okay.
he interviews it's celebrities that come on, and he talks them through like what was the scariest episode, the scariest movie that you've ever seen, and what is one of the films that means the most to you. So it's almost like superlatives of different films, and they talk about their memories of those films, and yeah, it's great fun, that podcast. So I would recommend it. And yeah, he's a huge Muppet fan, Brett Goldstein. So I think he would relish the opportunity to work with them.
Yeah. One other person that I feel like would be a good choice is, I think she's from Australia, the singer Montaigne. I don't know if,
Mm.
have you heard of her?
Name rings a bell. Yeah, I'll have to look her up. What makes you think she'd be a good fit?
She's just kind of quirky, and she sometimes collaborates with somebody on YouTube. His name is Tom Cardy, who is,
Hmm.
he does, I don't want to even call it parody music. He does full on music that is just ridiculous. Like, I
Okay.
also think he would be a good guest. But Montaigne herself, like, I think she would be somebody who could be a blend of a sincere guest, and she could also do the comedy, kind of like Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
She just has that energy that I think would make her a good Muppet guest.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, yes. The technical. Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 That's coming back to me now. Yes. Yeah, excellent. You could maybe get her and Daði Freyr on together.
That's
They could
they
have
they did a song together, so that would be, yeah, they would be a good combo.
oh my goodness, that is a themed episode, a Eurovision themed
Oh yeah.
episode. Or like
That would be.
yeah, not necessarily but like a song contest. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that'd be fun.
That could be like an hour-long special where you get a whole
Hmm.
bunch of obscure artists in to do one song, and the Muppets are like judging them. That would be
That would be
fun.
fun. We've cracked it.
Yes, yeah. Now I want to start thinking of other obscure artists who could have one song. Lindsey Stirling has done something with the Muppets in the past, but she would be good to get on to do something. She's the violinist. She used to do like dubstep violin songs. She write her own music.
Mhm.
I don't think she's done dubstep in a while, but that's like the big thing she was known for a while.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Well, it's like with the blinding lights number in this. It's so much fun to see the Muppets reacting to different styles of music, and like with the Muppet
Mhm.
Show as well. Like there was the whole, Harry Belafonte episode with all the calypso music, and yeah, just seeing the Muppets, yeah, kind of moving and reacting to music, different styles of music in different ways
Yes.
would be a lot of fun. So yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
definitely.
nice to bring that back.
Yeah. I hope they do something like that. That would be so much
Yeah.
fun. Well, I think that's all I've got on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, same here, I think.
I'm sure we will be back for something else in the future, but until then, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yes, of course. So, me and Michael, we are the co-hosts of Once Upon a VHS, an 80s and 90s fantasy movie podcast. So, yeah, we're on the socials at Once Upon a VHS. And yeah, feel free to listen to our episodes. We cover all kinds of different 80s and 90s fantasy movies, and we're in the middle of a season which is all about scale. So there's a little bit of a Muppetsy vibe to that because we're talking about big things, small things. There are lots of Jim Henson Creature Workshop things that we're talking about at the moment. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So please give us a listen.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing this with me, and we'll see you in the future for something else.
Thank you, John.
Okay, I feel like I've said most of what I have to say about The Muppet Show. I've watched it many times. I loved it. So I'll let you guys talk about how much you liked it.
It had the original flavor, but updated.
Yeah.
So if people loved the original, then they're obviously Jonathan is going nuts with happiness over it. He's watched it at least a half a dozen times.
More than that.
More than that. More than that.
Partially because I'm doing this podcast and I'm recording it's now been almost a month of recording with people, so I've watched it before each time, but also I didn't care because I loved it.
And it throws me off when you don't have an original voice to the character, but in the end, does it really matter if they've caught the flavor and they're doing a good job with it? Like Kermit's voice threw me off a little bit, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Piggy is still a diva on steroids. They might have to pull her back a little bit, but and Gonzo was fun. Of course, they seem to be the kings of cameos, so that was already starting to happen in just episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely approve of Maya Rudolph being in there, which is kind of hilarious because we just got done watching
The Good Place.
Yes, The Good Place. Sorry. We just got done watching pretty close together, all of The Good Place, which is so much about death. And then she comes to the Muppet Show and dies and is
I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
like, okay, Maya. But she was very fun on there. Yeah, no, they're doing a good job. I may think of more, but that's my main summary. Take it away,
All right,
Stanford.
so my turn.
Yes.
It was just pure delight. I just smiled the entire time I was watching the show. I mean, I went in with high expectations, I think, John, because I had, talked to you and Mark about it, right? And you both had told me how much you liked it.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. I mean, from the opening credits that they recreated the
Almost
way that
perfectly exactly the same.
almost exactly the same, which I loved.
Uh-huh.
And because I love the beginning of the show anyway, from the original one, and I thought they captured it perfectly. I'm with you, Sarah. It's a little maybe off-putting or maybe a little jarring when you hear these character voices that are different. I mean,
I was even weird about the latest voice for Wallace. It's like I've spent my whole life hearing a very particular voice.
yeah,
So when it's a little bit different, does it matter in the long run? Not necessarily. It's just it's you notice.
exactly. I felt that they stayed true to the characters, just like you're saying, like with Miss Piggy, etc. The voices were a little off, but still. The camera work, the editing, Sabrina Carpenter was a lot of fun. I thought she was a fun choice, a contemporary choice, that I thought worked well.
I'm not even that familiar with her, but I thought she was great on there.
Yeah, I'm not same.
Actually, I
But
wasn't familiar with her at all, to be honest.
Okay.
Sometimes I know and sometimes I really don't know. So,
But she was I thought she was a good choice, and I just had a ball. And in fact, after it was over, I just kept saying to myself, "Oh, I can't wait for that. I really, really hope they make another one. Please make another one."
Yes.
and keep it the same level of quality and delight.
Mm-hmm. Which it seems to have gotten really good ratings. So
Yeah, the
I'm hoping.
news is that the ratings were good. I hope so too, that they'll do it.
I don't know how long it'll take to announce, but so did you have like a favorite bit or sketch or song? I think for me it was Blinding Lights with Rizzo.
Blinding Lights with Rizzo was so brilliant. Oh my stars. I loved I'll go please after you, Sarah.
oh, I was just thinking, I really liked the boat
Oh, that was
one.
good too.
Like that was very Muppets.
Uh-huh.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Rizzo was great too, but
All of the bits that they did with or without Sabrina just felt so Muppety. Like the first scene with Sabrina doing Man-Child, that whole thing felt like a sketch straight out of the old Muppet Show with her beating
Yeah.
up the bar Muppets.
Yes, I agree. I think my favorite too was probably Blinding Lights. Although I thought that Don't Stop Me Now, the finale was a blast too.
A perfect way to end it too, which is it was
Yeah.
like a plea from the Muppets to Disney, don't stop me now.
Exactly. They're just getting going again. And frankly, this is the Muppets that I would like to see.
Yes.
Not that they need to just remake the past, but it's just like the stuff we loved about the Muppets, and let's.
I appreciate that they're not done being creative. Like the Muppets Most Wanted film. That shows that there's still life in the Muppets. And this, for people who really want nostalgia, there's definitely life in the Muppets.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if they bring the show back, is there anything that you guys would like to see? Either like specific Muppets that you want to see featured, or guest stars, or even themed shows?
Oh, John, all the above. I was thinking that very thing about who would be a fun guest star, and no one really specific came to mind. Other than, I mean, it would be fun even if if they had some classic ones like Steve Martin, but also I'd be happy with anybody like like Sabrina Carpenter and somebody that a much younger generation than I am are into artists that are into, because they just, regardless, they make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure quite what Seth Rogen was going to do with it, but I thought that if he aced it, and let's just have all the above. I love any of the musical numbers. Anyway, I was nothing but rave reviews, but nothing really specific that I thought, oh, this would be great. I should think about that, John. Get back to you. What would be some fun, It's all two different things that they could do. But anyway, yeah.
This is the fourth segment on the Muppet Show I've done, so I'm trying to make all of my suggestions completely different. So I've been trying to think of something completely different than I've thought of before. And one thing that I just randomly thought of, probably just because I was watching YouTube, do you know who Hank Green is?
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking it would be really fun to do some Bunsen and Beaker sketches with some like science educators.
Get the brothers. Get both brothers.
That'd
Yeah,
be so fun.
yeah.
Oh, my word. Yes. That is such a random and good suggestion.
Good call, John.
I didn't even think of that. And I have a list.
What are some of your choices?
Well, Jonathan and I were already chatting, but I think we both could agree on Josh Groban.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh, for sure.
he's already entrenched with them. You
Yeah.
already know that he's a good sport and does a good job. Heck,
he'd
get
be
him for
perfect.
get him for a Christmas special or something where you can
Oh,
really haul out the
yes.
feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then thinking about how, like, the roots, I feel like with Sabrina Carpenter, you get that little bit of country flair in there. I feel like folk and country are really within their lane. And so I thought, well, what about Jesse Wells? Because he's basically the face of modern folk, it seems like. And maybe a group like Fleet Foxes, which are indie, but they would be cozy on there. They really would be cozy. I mean, at least in the past. I'm not sure what they're doing now. There was kind of a 60s feel to them. If you want to start branching out, what about Lin-Manuel Miranda?
he would be great.
Oh, that would be
Wouldn't
great.
that be fun?
Has he done
great.
anything with the Muppets before? This feels like a natural pairing.
He feels
It
fun
does.
enough to be doing that and also incorporate that culture in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
They could have so much fun.
They could have
Definitely.
such a blast with that. Oh my
And
goodness.
this-
Yes, and yes.
This came to me, and I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a random thought, but this would also be definitely for, well, hopefully multiple generations. But what about Billie and Phineas Eilish?
Oh,
Billie and Phineas, like-
and Phineas, yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
That's a great idea.
He just seems like such a great brother. Oh my word. And
They had the two of them together. That'd be cool.
yes.
Yes.
Do duets.
Yep.
Just have fun. They both feel down to earth and kind and everything. I feel like they could be really fun on there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I could think of even more, but those are some
Those are
some
great
ideas.
Yeah.
Glad you approve. Now they just need to make them.
ones. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like Billie Eilish is a natural fit. Like if they bring it back, she's got to come on. But having her brother on there too, that's
That'd
a
be
great
really
idea.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
And maybe like, our country's like there's the idea of what can we do to celebrate what we have here. So maybe a Juneteenth episode or just
Who would be the good guest for that?
I know who, but they could have so much fun with it. There are
Yeah.
different options.
My mind immediately goes to Anthony Anderson because Blackish was the show where I learned about Juneteenth, but also I didn't like his character in that show. So even though I loved the show, he annoyed me so much. But he probably would be a good guest if you did.
There's a thing of you have your icons, but also whose personality is going to be like, yeah, I want to be on the Muppets because
I mean,
it's
Anthony
its own.
Anderson, his personality would fit with the Muppets.
Yeah,
Okay.
he would have. They would have a fun time. So like, yeah.
Hmm. Also, Lawrence Fishburne, he had a cameo in The Muppets, the 2015 show. He played the grandfather on Blackish. He would also be a good guest.
And they should maybe have a cameo of Fluffy.
I mean, he could just have his whole own episode.
But well,
Right.
I feel like I heard him. I heard a little blip of him sing one time, and he actually sounded really good. So
Yeah, that feels like a good guest.
Like a good choice, yeah.
I'm thinking of that because I've been watching Fluffy again lately. Because you got to lighten the mood sometimes. But yeah, no, I'm sure I could think of more. But those are some things, some ideas.
Well, and I'm far away from any kind of pop culture coolness, but I'd be thinking, I mean, even like I think the Jonas Brothers would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, get Nick in on the Christmas special along with Josh.
Along with Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the brunette heartthrobs.
I was leaning towards, just comedians again, because I was thinking Steve Martin, of course, and these are all older, but I think Will Ferrell would be fun. Jack Black.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I love that idea. He already has such a fun personality. He would be totally...
Yeah.
And he's musical.
He's a Muppet in human form.
He is.
He's kind of magical, really.
It would be magical and manic, and it would be really fun.
Oh, my word. I love that idea so much. I'm okay. Yes. I didn't expect to get this excited talking about the Muppet Show today. Jonathan's I'm a fan. Jonathan's a super fan. It's like, okay. But we've also been watching School of Rock recently, and I love his personality so much. And he would just get him in there with Animal. Oh my word.
Exactly. Be the best.
But yeah, I feel like it was a really good choice too for them, because they had the main musical person, but then they had these people on the side, these cameos, because I don't know if Maya's musical, but she's perfect to be on there. So maybe your idea of the comedians, but mix them in with musical, of course, with Steve Martin, then you get both too. And he would be perfect with Kermit, oh my word. Mm-hmm. But yeah, good stuff. Okay, now that we've convened, they're going to have enough material to move forward with. So we've done our service. We've done our service to the planet here.
I don't know if this is an idea big enough to do a whole episode around, but the other day, I don't know if you would know who this is, Stanford, but Sarah should know. There's a singer on YouTube who does like medieval covers of music. She goes by Hildegaard Von Blingin, and she popped up the other day with a cover of Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child, and my mind immediately went, they should have Hildegaard Von Blingin on the Muppet Show. She doesn't show her face though, so I don't know if she's somebody who they could get.
Wouldn't it be fun and it would almost be like this niche thing.
Yes.
But if they could get people that we love who are on YouTube, that they're not as huge as huge of a star as Steve Martin or Billie Eilish, but like Andy Marie Tillman.
Oh, yes.
She would be hilarious on there. Yeah. And yeah, just maybe have a special episode where you bring in some of these random talents who are extremely talented.
Yeah.
And maybe even just call it that, like the YouTube, the YouTube creator episode or something. I don't know.
I think I had a similar discussion with somebody else about there's so much talent that isn't like famous, but like the Muppets in the old Muppet Show, they never went, well, I mean, they went for huge celebrities maybe like 50% of the time. The other 50% was like random people who were a celebrity in their field. Like they had ballet dancers and mime acts and random people who the general public don't know, but they still made for a great guest because they worked so well with the Muppets. And I feel like the internet is a great place to find talent like that.
Mm-hmm. Did they have Bobo on, by the way? Because you were asking what Muppets would we like to see on the show. If they didn't have Bobo, bring back Bobo, because
Bobo was on the new Muppet Show. He wasn't part of the old Muppet Show.
Right. I have this growing love for Bobo. He has become one of my favorite Muppets, officially.
He has a very good, dry sense of humor.
His laugh is fantastic, and he's like a quiet hero. He is the calm in the storm. If he like, okay, what was it? Muppets in Space, Muppets from Space. He was the one who kept it cool and took away the ammo from the weapon. And then we've been rewatching what Muppet Show is it that we've been watching?
The 2015 The Muppets. The
Muppets, and Kermit's having a horrible day, and he's right there like, hug, bring it in, type of response. He's fantastic. I love him, and it's voiced by the same guy who does Pepe, who is also hilarious. Yeah, adult me has a greater appreciation for, or 30-something me has a greater appreciation for Pepe than I've probably ever had before.
Huh.
I had one other random idea. After I recorded with Callum, he and I came up with the idea for a Muppets Eurovision where it's like different kind of niche pop stars, usually European pop stars who have like really specific, sometimes weird acts. We just thought that would be really fun, but that gave me the idea to do something similar, except do it with people who are famous online for doing food content and have it be like a cooking contest.
Rosanna.
But I wrote down a bunch of people who I thought of. I was thinking it would be fun to have like the Swedish chef be judging like a food contest, but like he just randomly does stuff. Like he's not actually judging. It's just chaos. But I thought it would be really fun to have people like Rosanna Pansino, but there was a bunch of other people that I thought of too. One random, like this is like, she's crossed over into like actual celebrity, but Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman.
I
That would be
feel like
hilarious if she was part of a chaotic cooking competition.
I feel like the Swedish chef should maybe be in the competition and then have a panel of Muppets on the side who are taking it very seriously
good
as
idea,
things
too.
are going crazy, and Ree would just be the calm one who's really competent. Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah.
But there's a lot of food people online who I think could fit into this because we watch Sorted Food. I think the Sorted Food guys would be
Oh
great
my.
on a Muppet cooking contest.
They have enough goofiness to pull that off too.
There's a guy who makes realistic cakes. He goes by Johnny Cakes. I think he would be ridiculous.
Oh, what about, along with your Hildegaard Von Blingin, have the historical foods guy?
Oh,
I don't know.
there's several historical foods
yeah.
people
This is where we
too.
start. This is where we start to get really random.
But it's such a fun idea because I think what a way to stay current, and bring in again possibly a different audience or just expand your audience,
Right.
right? Yeah, that's a great
Okay.
idea.
Like, say you had somebody like Rosanna Pansino. What if some of her viewers haven't watched the Muppets, but if she was on it, they'd want to check it out.
I
So-
feel like years ago she had an episode with, because she did something with Cookie Monster, but I feel like maybe Miss Piggy might have been on her channel also.
Really?
Years and years ago.
Wow.
I feel like there was some Muppet crossover with her
so
at some
my
point.
brain is correct in including her in that. Okay.
Yeah, there's so much possibility for a new Muppet Show. I hope it comes back, and I hope that we get more of this because I just want more Muppets
And they should just listen to our ideas because, yeah.
because they're good.
So yeah, serve your audience.
Yeah.
Serve your audience here, people. We're here to help.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think that's all we have for the Muppet Show. We will be back in the future for another episode. But until then, do you guys want to let people know where they can find you online, Stanford?
Yeah, I have a movie podcast named Movies Past and Present. You can find me at moviespastandpresent.com. My Instagram handle is at Stanford Clark.
And Sarah?
You can find me on Redbubble under Turnip Wilson. I do whimsical and realistic pen and ink and watercolor. So go find something cute.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in the future for another episode.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Disney Movie Marathon. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. My Linktree and all of our links will be in the description below. If you want more of my content, all my podcasts are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you enjoyed this show, check out one of the other podcasts or check out my Patreon for bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening and we'll see you next time.